What would have happened if at the very beginning Robert died in his suit? Well, to answer that, we first need to understand something. Robert did a lot of things during his life as a dispatcher, and most people don't realize just how many of those moments had a domino effect. So, let's go through the story of dispatch, but this time, Robert gets his heroic death far too soon. So the suit detects the bomb on his back, but it's far too late. Boom! The mecha suit explodes in the air. And behold, Robert lies inside the wreckage, dead. In the game, the story immediately moves into a series of events where Robert goes to the press conference and then meets Blonde Blazer and gets offered the dispatcher position. But something a lot of people don't realize is that none of that happens right after the crash. It actually happened months later, as a news reporter briefly points it out.
It was just over 4 months ago that images like this were recorded across the Southland. Videos flooded social media and our newsroom, showing what many thought to be the death of Mecha Man.
So this time, none of those ever happen. Instead, we'll get people shocked by his death. We don't even have Blonde Blazer searching the city for Robert that night. She probably just finished her shift at SDN, clocked out, and went home like any other day. Everything continues as normal. But this time, Robert is known as the fallen hero, the Mecha Man. Waterboy still shows up trying to join SDN. And let me tell you something, becoming a janitor as a superhero is probably the lowest point you could hit. Without Robert, he still lands that job anyway. But later on, nobody sees any potential in him, so he stays as a janitor and never becomes a hero. Roy doesn't have anything special going on either. He doesn't have the mecha suit to work on. He simply is another SDN employee. So now we have a dispatcher problem. From what Blonde Blazer tells us, every dispatcher assigned to Z Team quits on their first try. So without Robert, we probably don't have a dispatcher at all. Or just another random guy who immediately gives up on them. So the Z Team continues misperforming, and eventually the day comes when someone has to be kicked from the team to send a message. But we have a tiny problem. Without Robert, Invisible never catch the looter. She's still sitting at the bottom of the ranking. And then we get this line from Blonde Blazer.
Even if she was on the bottom, I'm not sure I'd have let you cut her.
But then we also get this from Chase.
Now, if I'm being honest, I thought and still think we should have canned these tunas months ago.
So Chase wants to kick the whole team, and Blonde Blazer refuses to do so. She also refuses to let Invisible be kicked. But Invisible is literally at the bottom of the list. So what happens? Do they kick nobody? Do they kick the whole team? Do Sonar or Cook get kicked again like the original story? Let's narrow it down. Like nobody getting kicked is pretty unlikely, because the entire team would make a complete joke out of SDN. Kicking Invisible isn't happening either, because Blonde Blazer won't allow it. Also, kicking the whole team doesn't work either, because that would just include kicking Invisible again. So you see the problem. So, what the actual fuck am I supposed to do with this shit? I have an entire video to make right now. Oh my god! So, after going through every single scenario, don't thank me yet, I think I finally reached the most likely conclusion. So nobody gets kicked. Instead, everyone gets a slap on the wrist. Chase is furious. Blunt Blazer somehow keeps everything together. Z-Team on the other hand is now even worse because STN just refused to kick anybody for poor performance. It just doesn't matter anymore. And while all of this is happening, Shroud keeps growing stronger every single day. Even faster than before, because now he is known as the man who killed his arch enemy, Mecha Man. He is far more respected and feared by villains now. Day after day, the pressure keeps building up. So Z-Team keeps embarrassing STN. Chase keeps pushing to get rid of them. And Shroud, on the other hand, keeps expanding rapidly. Eventually, Blunt Blazer reaches her limit. She finally agrees with Chase. Z-Team needs to go. So, it's officially disbanded. But that's only the beginning. So, just like the normal universe, Blunt Blazer finally breaks up with Phenomenon. And as you probably noticed, it happens a little bit later this time. So Robert wasn't the reason she broke up with him, but he definitely was a factor. Without Robert around, Phenomenon has nobody to keep him under control. He is far more unstable than the original timeline. So there is no Z-Team left to recruit him into. Also, there is no one to talk with him. Robert is dead, remember? So, assuming he doesn't go through with his plan to fly into the sun and absorb its energy, we are left with an incredibly unstable phenomenon running loose through the city, and nobody is strong enough to stop him. Meanwhile, the former members of Z-Team are scattered, bored with nothing to do, and pretty pissed off at STN. And now Shroud suddenly has the perfect opportunity. Previously, either Sonar or Coop would join him depending on your choice to whom you would kick. But now, it's both of them. Also, Flambe joins too, and he's even more willing to work for Shroud, since he killed the one person Flambe hated the most, the Mecha Man. Golem and Prism follows them too. Invisible, on the other hand, most likely doesn't join the Red Ring. She's just done. And I don't think Punch Up or Malevola would join the Red Ring either. They are simply too decent to become full-on villains. Even if SDN kicks them out and Red Ring offers them a place, I think they simply just stay out of it. Maybe they keep some ties to Red Ring because of Sonar and Coop. Or maybe they don't. Actually, I don't know how strong their love is for Sonar or Coop. So, what do you think happens to them? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. Now enough time has passed. Most of the Z-Team are in Red Ring now. So they are not just another villain group anymore. They have an entire army. An army filled with augmented supervillains. And hundreds of augmented troops. Then the night on the deck arrives. Except this time, Invisible is never there. Remember, Royd and Invisible only discovered the ship because they were helping Robert. Without Robert, they never investigated. Nobody interrupts Shroud. nobody fights for the Astral Pulse, and Shroud simply takes it, completely uncontested. He gains unlimited power, and every one of his followers become dramatically stronger as well. Meanwhile, nobody at the scene even knows. So, the final battle finally begins. The night comes, Los Angeles erupts into chaos. Except this time, Robert isn't there to do crisis management. No, Robert is dead. No Robert is coordinating anymore. No Z-Team defending the city. In fact, most of the Z-Team are now fighting for Shroud, not against him. The city collapses in less than an hour, overpowered by sheer numbers and overwhelming power because of the Astral Pulse boost. Every augmented villain is amplified. Red Ring overruns Los Angeles, while STN is surrounded from every direction without any hero to defend itself. So STN makes its last stand. Royd fights for as long as he can, but there are simply too many enemies. Chase watches heroes after heroes fall, knowing there is no other choice. He uses his power one last time, taking as many villains down as he possibly can, before finally succumbing to his aging body. So, Blumblazor, however, keeps the promise she made. Even with the Astral Pulse boosting Red Ring, Blumblazor is simply too powerful to ignore. She tears through villain after villain, but eventually, even she reaches her limit. There are simply too many of them, and their amplified augments are too strong. Overwhelmed by numbers, she has no choice but to retreat, abandoning STN, flying out of the city at incredible speed, wounded from battle. She declares Los Angeles lost, escaping to gather every remaining hero she can find, preparing for the day to return and reclaim the city. And Phenomenon joins her as well. He might be broken, but he won't stand by and watch what happened to the city. Shroud, on the other hand, stands victorious, an entire army behind him, and a city under his control, preparing for an all-out war as the world's superheroes and army gather to confront him in one final battle. The battle to reclaim Los Angeles. All of this happened only because Waterboy lost a mentor. Invisible lost the first person who trusted her. Phenomenon lost someone who understood him. Royd lost his closest friend, and Z-Team lost its leader. So guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I actually was very close to breaking when I was talking about Chase and Royd. So we make a lot of effort to create these videos. I would appreciate if you support us and subscribe. See you on the next video.